The morning light hadn't stretched fully across Beverly Hills yet, but something about the way it touched the showroom windows felt tense, like the calm before a storm. One particular building stood out. No flashy sign, just a clean bronze emblem pressed into frosted glass. Inside, everything gleamed like it had been polished with arrogance. Ferrari, Koenigsegg, Bugatti, cars lined up like trophies, untouched and untouchable. A quiet click. The door opened. Nobody noticed at first. A man stepped in alone, his boots slightly dusty, jacket creased from wear, cap pulled low enough to shadow most of his face. He didn't belong here, not in their eyes. No Rolex, no loud voice, no entourage, just calm eyes scanning the room like he'd already seen it in a dream. Logan, a sharply dressed sales advisor, adjusted his cufflinks and narrowed his gaze. To him, the man looked like a mistake. He stood near a silver Aston Martin, his hand gliding over its hood like he respected it more than the people around him. Logan approached, voice stiff but plastic. "Sir, can I help you? Are you lost?" The man didn't even blink. "Just looking." Logan tilted his head. "This lounge is appointment only. We're selective." The man nodded. "Good to know." Logan frowned. That answer didn't sit right. Something about the guy felt off. Not poor, not desperate. Just calm. Too calm. From a glass office above, Richard Voss observed. He'd run this place like a king ruled a court. Built on status, trimmed in judgment. One look at the new guest, and he was already annoyed. "Logan," he said through the intercom. "Get Diego. I want that Koenigsegg cleaned, right next to him." Logan hesitated. "Sir, he's—" "Now." Within moments, Diego, a young staffer barely 20, pushed a cart of detailing supplies. His eyes flicked to the visitor, nervous, almost apologetic. A spray bottle hissed. Citrus-scented mist drifted through the air. Then, by accident, a jet of fluid streaked across the man's boots and jeans. Diego froze. "Oh, sir, I didn't mean to." The man looked down, then up, not angry, not shaken. He crouched, pulled a handkerchief from his pocket, and started wiping his own shoes. Someone across the room laughed. A man in a white suit sipped espresso and smirked. "Must be the off-road edition," he joked to his wife. Soft laughter followed, but only from some. At the hospitality counter, a young woman named Sophia stood frozen. She had seen arrogance here before, but never like this. Without waiting for orders, she poured a glass of cold water and walked it over. "Sir," she said gently, offering it with both hands. "If you need a towel, I can bring one." He took the water, looked at her, and for the first time since entering, smiled faintly. She didn't know why, but her stomach tightened. That wasn't just a thank you smile. It felt like a nod between people who understood something others didn't. From the corner, Logan whispered into the intercom again. "Mr. Voss, we may have a problem. Are you still with us? If you're still watching, comment the number 8 below so we know you're following along." The silence in the showroom shifted. It wasn't peaceful. It was sharp, uncomfortable. Like everyone was pretending not to watch what they couldn't stop watching. Richard Voss stood just outside his office now, his jaw tight, eyes fixed on the man crouched near the Bugatti. He straightened his tie, then stepped forward with the smile of someone used to control. "Sir," he said smoothly, "I'm Richard Voss, General Manager. Can I help you find something more fitting?" The man didn't look up right away. He finished wiping his boots, folded the handkerchief, and then slowly rose to his full height. When his eyes finally met Voss's, something flickered behind them, controlled, sharp, almost surgical. "I'm good," he said calmly. "Just came to see how your place lives up to its reputation." Voss smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "We cater to a specific clientele, vetted, refined, people who understand luxury." The man took a slow sip of the water Sophia had offered him. "Funny. I thought luxury started with how you treat people, not how they're dressed. Voss's nostrils flared, just slightly. We uphold an image, sir. This isn't a showroom for tourists. From the espresso bar, another chuckle came. A woman in pearls whispered to her husband. More glances, more smirks. The man looked around, then turned his head toward the reflection in the Bugatti's side panel. His own face looked back, partially hidden, unreadable, and just behind it, he could see Richard Voss's expression. Calculating. Cold. You know what's strange, the man said quietly. None of you asked my name. Voss blinked. Should we know it? The man smiled, just a little. You will. He began walking. Slow, purposeful steps that echoed through the marble floor. One hand in his jacket, the other brushing lightly along the side of a rare McLaren. Logan stepped back, unsure. Even Diego paused near his cart, uncertain whether to continue wiping down the Koenigsegg or just freeze. In the back of the room, Sophia watched, wide-eyed. Something was happening. She didn't know what, but the energy had shifted. It wasn't just tension, it was pressure, like the air before a thunderstorm. The man stopped near a table stacked with brochures. He picked one up, glanced at it, then slipped it back neatly. Then, reaching into his jacket, he pulled out a black device, sleek, unbranded, with only a single fingerprint sensor on the back. He tapped it. The screen lit up in his hand. A plain, dark interface blinked open. He entered 6 digits. Activate Black Key Protocol. A soft beep. No one noticed yet, except Sophia, who caught the faint blue glow from across the floor. Her breath caught in her chest. The man looked up at the room again. Richard had turned, speaking to Logan in low, irritated tones. Diego was refilling the sprayer. And from outside, just barely audible, a distant, low rumble. Tires, engines. Something big was coming. The hum of luxury and laughter cracked for the first time when the engines outside cut through the air like a warning shot. No one could see them yet, but they felt it. A disturbance in the perfect rhythm of espresso, polished chrome, and artificial smiles. Keanu turned toward the floor-to-ceiling glass. 3 matte black SUVs glided to a stop outside. No logos, no vanity plates, no hesitation. The kind of vehicles that didn't park. They deployed. Inside, heads began to turn. Clients whispered. A few stood from their lounge seats, pretending to be curious while glancing anxiously at the man in the scuffed boots. Voss noticed the change before he understood it. He stepped toward the window, his voice lowered as if trying to control the moment. Logan, he hissed. Who did you say this guy was again? I didn't, Logan stammered. He never gave a name. Doors opened outside. 4 figures in charcoal suits stepped out. A woman in a steel gray ponytail followed, clutching a leather tablet to her chest like a verdict. And then, him. Harvey Lair. The name wasn't spoken. It didn't need to be. Voss knew it the way sailors know the shape of a coming storm. Harvey only visited in person when something was about to fall. Mr. Lair, Voss said, already stepping forward with a forced smile. This is a surprise. I wasn't informed. Harvey didn't even look at him. His eyes found Keanu first. He gave a small, respectful nod. Keanu returned it, just once. Then, everything stopped. The recognition hit Voss like a punch to the gut. His gaze dropped from the jacket to the eyes, and suddenly the puzzle came together. Keanu Reeves. But not the red carpet version. Not the interview smile, or the action movie silhouette. This was the one no one ever saw coming. The one who didn't need headlines or applause. The one with reach, with connections deeper than luxury and stronger than image. This man wasn't walking into a dealership. He was auditing a culture. And the judgment had begun. Clients murmured. A few picked up their phones to search, others to record. Logan stood frozen, staring at his own reflection in the showroom glass, as if trying to disappear into it. Keanu's voice broke the silence. Not loud, not angry, just steady. The kind of voice that cut through noise like a scalpel. "You judged me the second I walked in," he said. "Not based on my values, but my boots." Richard Voss opened his mouth, but nothing came out. For the first time in a long time, he didn't know what to say. "And worse," Keanu continued, "you made sure everyone else did too." The screen behind the espresso bar flickered. Every face turned toward it. Keanu tapped his phone again. Security footage appeared. Complaints, reports, audio clips. Everything they thought was hidden wasn't. Gasps rippled through the showroom like broken glass hitting marble. On the giant screen, rows of complaint reports slid across one after another, each stamped with Richard Voss's name. Client denied based on appearance. Verbal misconduct. Filtered access by race. Real voices followed. A UPS worker being turned away. A young woman in a hoodie told to leave. And then, Sophia, offering kindness to a guest, only to be scolded for weakening the brand. No one spoke. Not even the white-suited client who'd mocked Keanu earlier. He stared at the screen like it was a mirror, and he didn't like what he saw. Keanu looked at Sophia across the room. "You remember that moment?" She nodded slowly, eyes damp but unblinking. "You were the only one who acted with dignity," he said. "That's why you'll be staying." Sophia's lips parted in shock. Logan turned away, visibly shaken. Voss stood still, his mouth slightly open, shoulders stiff like a man holding back an earthquake from inside. "Mr. Reeves," he finally said, trying to find control again. "If I had known—" "That's the problem," Keanu interrupted, voice sharper now. "You treat people based on what you think they're worth, not who they are." Harvey Lair stepped forward for the first time. His tone was cold and final. "Effective immediately. Richard Voss is removed from his position. His access is revoked. All internal systems frozen until further review." Gasps hit harder than ever. One woman actually dropped her phone. Voss's face contorted between disbelief and desperation. You can't be serious," he stammered. Keanu stepped forward, calm and close. "You built a showroom," he said, "but all you sold was ego. And today, you're out of stock." Voss tried one last time. "I brought in every major client, every major deal, and drove out every decent human being along the way," Keanu said flatly. Harvey nodded to a nearby security officer. The man stepped behind Voss, ready to escort. "No need," Voss muttered, chest heaving. "I'll walk." As he passed the other staff, no one met his eyes. Not even Logan. Not even the espresso bar regulars. At the door, Voss turned one last time, hoping for sympathy. But Keanu wasn't gloating. He just watched, like a man who didn't seek revenge, only restoration. The door clicked shut behind Voss, and it felt like the air changed. A weight lifted. Keanu turned to the room. "Some of you came here today to sell, others to be seen. But none of that matters if we forget how to treat people." Then he looked at Sophia. "Come here." She walked slowly toward him, nervous, still processing everything. Keanu reached into his jacket and pulled out a small, matte black car key, the fob to the silver Aston Martin Valor. "I want you to have this," he said softly. She blinked, stunned. "Sir, that's $1 million car. And this is a thank you," he said, "for seeing a person when no one else did." Her hands trembled as she took it. Clients watched in silence, not out of envy, but awe. Keanu turned one last time to the room. "Luxury," he said, "isn't stitched into leather. It's built into respect." Then, he walked toward the glass doors. Just before stepping out, he glanced over his shoulder and added quietly, "This place won't sell cars anymore. It'll deliver dignity." And with that, he was gone. What would you have done if you saw Keanu that day? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this story moved you, share it with someone who needs the reminder. Power doesn't always speak loudly, but when it does, it changes everything. Like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that expose, inspire, and empower. See you in the next chapter.